how to create colourful rings in Affinity Photo. The key filter here is Procedural Texture. It's a new filter that's in Affinity Photo, and you can find it via the Filters, Colours and Procedural Texture. You can see the ring design there. It's black and white, but I'm going to make it more colourful a little bit later. So I'm just going to create a shape for it. Now it could be a star, it could be a circle, but I'm going to go for a square. Just resize that slightly so you can see it a bit better. Now, just go to Filters, Colours and Procedural Texture. Once you've done that, you could go with the presets, but I'm just going to go and create completely from afresh. So click the little plus to add an equation. Now that's just for R, the red channel. So you can see RX/W, and that's just for the red channel. So you can see the red gradient, black and red. But I want it for R, G and B at this point. So RX/W. Very simple. And you can move it around because it's a relative X. RX means relative. So once you do that, well, you can now add a bit more to it. So I'm just going to go for, now I could make that H, obviously for height, and R, Y and H. So you can make it the other way around. So I'm just going to change that slightly. RY/H. And then you can see the gradient suddenly becomes that way. So you can do a whole range of different gradients, linear gradients in this case. But if you want maybe something like a circular design, what you need to do is RX plus RY. Well, that still makes a linear, but it's getting there. What you need now is actually to multiply RX times RX and RY and there. So you've got both now are multiplied, and you get this lovely little dot. It's not particularly very exciting, little dot there. Well, if you want to reverse it, or inverse it I should say, you can put 1 in front. So just put 1 there. I'm going to go for square root initially, so you can see the square root makes it slightly different. But what I want is to invert that. So I put 1 in front of that. So 1 and then minus the square root of all of that /W. Now the square root is around the RX times RX plus RY times RY. And that's all been divided by W, the width. So now you've got something that's circular. It's much nicer. Well, you can also add variables into this as well. So you can put a variable in front of the square root or the RX. I'm just going to go for that. So A times RX and B times RY. Now, at this point, the function suddenly fails because it doesn't know what A and B are. So at this point, you have to add some custom inputs. So just go down there and I'm just going to add them as R and R. Just click that little R and you get A and B and put those to 1. Set the values to A and B. So now you can change now A and B. You can make it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 9, whatever. And then you've got an elliptical gradient. It's quite a nice elliptical gradient. It's not perfect, but anyway, it's getting there. Now, what can you do next? Well, you can add some more settings there. I can just go for another variable. So I'm just going to put C. Very original in my names, A, B and C. Of course, you could go with something more you could put RA or whatever. Or you can add a function. So in this case, I'm just going to go for a sine wave. Put a bracket around there. So now I've got OSC and then sin and then bracket, and that's all around the whole of that function. So now you can see it's even more interesting. You've got rings appearing into this. So you can just drag it around. Again, that's the RX and the RY. You can just drag it around. But also I can put a multiplier in there. And I'm just going to quickly add a multiplier. So you can see, put a C in there. And we'll type that in a sec. So, well, actually I'm putting 2 times. So 2 times, and you can see straight away the effect of that. 2 times, 3 times, you can just change it. But it's easier just to use a custom input. So instead of just 2, 3, 4, which you could do, of course, perfectly reasonable, but you can change that to C instead of using 4. So put that to C, and then you can see you've got now 3. You can move it around again. Let's say you've got the RX and RY, and you can change the values. So you can alter it and create all kinds of very interesting ring designs that way. So there's the function. It's very basic. You've got the OSC SYN. Now, to find out more about that, go to the Affinity Photo help. There's a vast range of commands available there to try out. But of course now I can extend it even more. And I'm just going to add additional 2 more equations, but I'm going to go for the R. Yeah, get rid of that. And I'm going to go for G, and I'm going to go for B down the bottom. So now they're the active one. I don't want A. I want B. So R, G and B are all separate now. And I'm going to copy and paste the top function into there. So just now it becomes exactly the same as it was before. So you can see, but now what I can do, I can change the the A to RA, and so on and so on. So I'm going to add some additional inputs, or I can maybe change the C. Yep, I can do that. Put RC, and again, I just go down the bottom and click more R's, so I can just add some more. Can't see it, it's just slightly off screen, but you click the R again to add those custom ones. And you can set the value for that. And then you can go up to there and change to put that to RC, and again go down to the next one, the green. I'm going to go for GC, and I'm going to go for BC. It's just slightly off the screen, but it's BC. So now you've got these individual settings. You can change the value for those. You can see you can go down there and change that to 3 or 4 or whatever. And you can then move that around. Okay, so it's even further now along the way for a colourful design or elliptical design. Squeeze that in. Next thing I'm going to do, I want some slightly shift in this. So instead of using just RX, what you can do, you can also add RX minus 10. RX minus 20, RX minus 30. So I'm going to put a bracket around that and bracket around that. So RX minus 10. So that you can't hardly see it, but if I put 100, so I'm going to put another. Both the RXs I'm going to put for that. So, and it's minus 10 at this point. Minus 100. Minus 100. Right, and now you can see that slight shift. So what you can do then, of course, instead of using 100, you can make a variable for it. And again, slightly off screen. I wanted to zoom in so you could actually show the... But again, like I said, these can be variables. So RX minus 200, this is for the green channel. So you can go and see the design. You can still then change all the A, B, C, etc. And I'm going to go for D. And again, off screen, but you can add those as well. Just standard R. Click R again and another R. Or use Z instead. That's for the inputs, for the integer values. Up to you. And what you can do then, you can go up there and change those to maybe D and E. And then you can, of course, change the values for those. And you can see then, you can offset. You can see now the D there down the bottom. There's a Z. Right, once you're happy with that, you can go to the Create preset. You can just go over to that right side and just quickly create preset. Colourful rings. Colourful rings 1. And also give it a category and click create. So once you're happy with that, you can then, you've now got your function, what you can do, go and create maybe a star or polygon or some other shape. So you can just drag that from the tools and then just go back to the colours and procedural texture and just go down to the setting down there and colourful rings, select that and you've got your procedural texture bit, and then you can tweak the values and change them, move the RX round, RY, and there you have it. Super duper colourful rings for shapes. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please subscribe, always adding new tutorials about Affinity Photo, and also please add some comments. Always appreciated. Thank you much.